So officially welcome to the Purify edition ceremony for cacao. I'm honored to be joined by my beloveds, Abergale and Jared, who are stationed over in the UK right now. For those of you that don't know, my name's Mackenzie. I'm the founder of Cacao Ceremonial Drinking Chocolate, and I'm coming to you today from Maui. And before I pass the torch for us to be dropped in by Abergale and Jared, I just wanted to honor what's unfolding on this planet right now. And honor every light worker that is here, every empath and healer and mother and father and child and brother and sister that is here, feeling the depths of what we're traversing right now on this planet. On August 8th, Lahaina went up in flames, and Lahaina translates to sacrifice by fire. And as devastating as the aftermath has been, it was a necessary cleansing, a necessary purification, a necessary sacrifice for a higher vision. And that is how I see everything that's happening on this planet right now. It's devastating, scary, it's painful. And it is a sacrifice that is being made. Lives are being sacrificed right now. For the prophecy. There are some prophecies that I've been talking about because ever since I heard them, they really deeply resonated in my cells, in my DNA, and I know each of you will resonate as well. So first, there's the eagle and the condor prophecy. And this prophecy states that there will be a time where the eagle, represented as the masculine, the mind, will come together in harmony with the condor, the feminine, the intuition. So where the heart and the head will merge, the feminine and masculine will merge, art and science will merge, heaven and earth will merge. This unification is where we're headed, where the eagle and the condor will fly in the sky in perfect harmony and perfect balance. So we are in that trial by fire and that divine sacrifice to get us to the eagle and condor prophecy, where they will then birth a divine offspring known as the Quetzal. The Quetzal bird represents this divine offspring of bringing heaven to earth. And what I love about that is that Quetzalcoatl is the god that gifted cacao to the people. So cacao is weaved into this prophecy in so many ways. And then lastly, which I feel is extremely relevant for especially what's happened here on Maui and I think across the world, is the prophecy of the rainbow warriors. And this prophecy states that all cultures, all races, all religions, all people from all backgrounds will come together to reestablish harmony on planet Earth with each other, with the Aina, with the land, and with all creatures. So again, we are in that prophecy, and yet we are in some turbulent times, which are waking us up and shaking things up and getting us in a tension pose as we go through this divine purification. as I share about often, the micro is the macro. And so each of us on an individual level will be going through intense purification, karmically, ancestrally, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I don't know about you, but it hasn't been very comfortable. There's a lot of beauty on the horizon, and there's still so much beauty around us that we get to tap into and come into gratitude for. But just know, if you've been experiencing the shakes and the turmoil and the chaos of these times, that is just your soul calling you into deeper purification so that you can hold the frequency of this prophecy in a stronger way. And lastly, last thing I'll share is, what is the key to the prophecy? What is that key? This, the heart. I'll read this thing I wrote, because that's what I guess I'm supposed to do here. Love is the key. Turn it and see. And guess what? That key is in Maui. In this lifetime, we will see unity. We are in the Rainbow Warriors prophecy. If we really want more harmony, we must awaken the dormant energy of the heart chakra, Uli and Pana, distributing mana from Ihi Kapalama Eva. Do you know how much she loves you, the Divine Mother? We can no longer be severed from the fully integrated lover. Receiving the gifts from the gods is the divine restart. It's how we do our personal part in reopening our own hearts. Accept the grace and the beauty trying to make its way in. And then watch, you'll see. Click, click, click. There goes the key. The crystal starts rising, safely restoring unity. The dragon goddess then returns home, taking her rightful place on her original throne. The waters will flow freely, discharging the system's complexity. And if you all are sitting back watching, we ask you to start rising. So tell me, what is it that moves your soul? Was there something negative that took a toll on you receiving that which will make you full? If this was a rope, this is your sign to pull. Just taking a breath. When that line came in, what it felt like was, we're pulling this prophecy towards us through the openness of our hearts. But we must be brave. We must be courageous to reopen our hearts, especially after what we're seeing, especially considering everything we've been through as a species and as a collective for many generations. It's going to take courage, action from the heart, courage to reopen. Can we open wider? Can we open more? Is that possible? And if you feel that fear, courage, open, open, open. Okay, I will now pass it on to my beautiful brother and sister, Abergale and Jared, that have so graciously said yes to come in today and guide us through a purification, purify, opening, and whatever transmission that is on their hearts to bring forward today. I personally have been going through the biggest transformative, most radically opening life experience of my life for the last 4 months, and especially in the last several weeks. And I stand here, quote unquote, alone in Maui, but of course with all my angels and guides. Thank you, Gaia. So to me,
thank you, Gaia.
Yes, to me, it felt really, really nourishing to know that I was getting on this call today, not alone. So A and J, I just want to say from my heart to yours, thank you for being such deep soul family to me. And I also woke up to a message from Jared saying that he's coming to Maui in 4 days. So excited for that. All right, beautifuls, I'll pass it to you. Did they leave? Oh, there
All
they are.
right, thank you so much, Ken. Yeah. Well, we ain't going nowhere, y'all. Thank you for that introduction. Already feeling so much igniting inside of us being here and just being on the planet right now at this time. So drop in together. So bringing the sacred medicine up to our hearts. Let's just take a moment to close down our eyes and rest into the darkness just for a moment here. There is so much happening that is grabbing our attention, pulling our hearts, our psychic fields, our emotional body, and rightly so. But yet for this moment, can we just rest into ourselves, into the darkness? Just pausing. Feeling the heat of the cacao in your hands. Feeling her heat. She ignites the fire. She brings the fires. She purifies the fire. She calls forth the torchbearers. She creates a grid of golden light workers, resilient, courageous, plugged in, turned on. Feel the heat. Acknowledge your own heat, the flame inside of you that already through this opening is igniting. Can we merge with it? See your inner flame. See the orange, see the purple. Take a deep inhalation in through your nose. Expand up to the sky, straighten your spine. Exhale, release, let go with sound. A few more like that. Deep inhalation through the nose, drawing up, holding in that heart space, acknowledging that flame. Purify your body temple. That's it. Couple more. Inhale, drawing up from Mother Gaia, up, 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 expanding your heart, lowering your shoulders, raising your head up to the heavens. Feel the strength of your spine. Release. Let go. Let it all. Drawing up, up, up the golden light from Mother Gaia, holding in your heart, expanding your heart to the chest. I accept my divine mission. Worthy of this. Exhale, release any resistance to that truth now. Let it go, let it flow, let it be. Returning to your natural rhythm of breath. Gentle inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. As we acknowledge the multifaceted human experience, we welcome in the sacred medicine of cacao. We acknowledge the sacred lands that we all sit upon, the constellation of this group of beings right here, right now, in this very precious moment, on this very potent eclipse. this full moon in Taurus, this karmic completion, this turning of the, this is a potent opportunity. One that is unified, one where the spirit merges into the matter. Where we fucking see. We see clearly. Acknowledging the golden dragon that has brought all of us here together, medicine that we have in our hands. Thank you. Thank you for uniting. Thank you to all of the dragon guides that are with you, that are standing with you, that are flying with you, that are soaring right by your side. Feel the strength of that alliance of your dragon tribe. As we come together on this full moon in the name of purification, and we honor this month that has been a potent portal of purification, inviting you to tune into an intention right now. This is a grand finale. This is the completion. What intention are you weaving into this moment, amplified by this group, this field, this fire? And just letting that bubble up, seeing that intention, infusing with the molecules of the cacao. See the unification of the cacao in your intention, in your cup, in your hand, becoming one. See the cacao shifting into this intention, merging. And together we're going to take one final breath in, and we're going to make a sound, a tone to seal, to consecrate this space with sound together. So I'll count us in on the count of 3. You'll take an inhale through your nose, and you can make a, let's do, instead of an om, let's do a yum, to actually fucking celebrate the potency that is here. So I'll count us in on count of 3. Inhale through your nose. Exhale a big, loud, full-bellied yum. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale, yum. Beautiful. And when you're ready, you can start drinking, receiving this medicine. As we open up to share more about purification, I also just want to ignite your imaginal realm, like the realm that is very connected to your unconscious, your soul, for things to drop in as we're speaking, for more gnosis to take place as we share stories today.
I'm just giving you guys a moment just to receive, just to allow yourself to actually moving through your body, allowing for a quiet nourishing. To be in the right relation, reciprocity, this medicine that gives so abundantly. May we devote to receiving so fully. I'll leave you for a few moments to just really let that land for you. In this moment as we sit here was actually the first time we ever drank flying cacao. And it was the birthing of our relationship with it. I remember it very clearly. It was June. And a friend of Abergale bring it to our house. Her name was Azria Colin back then. And she facilitated a ceremony. I never ever sat cacao before. And the first thing I ever feel like I personally received from cacao was actually what I would probably call, to use some quite esoteric language, is like a prosperity upgrade.
1 second, I think we're cutting out. Can you guys hear us okay now? Are we back?
It's in and out. It's in and out, but we're following, I think. We're following. I just don't know if you have a stronger connection option.
Let's see.
Okay. Turn off the internet.
Or maybe we'll connect to my hotspot.
Okay. Is your internet good?
We'll find out. How's that? Can you hear me clearly? Are we here? Have you got us?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you right now.
Okay, let's just see how this goes and just maybe let us know in the chat if it's
Okay.
still
Cool.
Apologies, we've just moved into a new little cottage in Tintagel in Cornwall. So, and also the energies tonight are really potent. We just came in from a festival of the dark, and yeah, there's just a lot of energy present right now where we are as well. So just acknowledging all the things that are here with us.
Yeah, about 300 meters down the road is actually Arthur's castle and Merlin's cave.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
bringing all that magic in with us right now.
So I was beginning to share, I'm not sure which part you guys heard me get up to, but I was sharing the first time we'd ever sat fly cacao. It was actually the first time we'd ever done cacao, I think. And Azria Cohen, who is now known as Azria Bakur, brought to our place, and she facilitated a ceremony, and it was cacao. And the first thing that I ever personally received from cacao was actually a prosperity upgrade. And I felt it so tangibly. I was almost re-experiencing in this moment again. And the way that I felt it and saw it in my mind's eye was this golden energy entering into every single cell of my being. And I felt so different the next day. It changed me. It's almost like a remembrance or a meeting of a long lost mother or sister is what it felt like. And then we journeyed around, and we ended up receiving quite a few other cacaos over the last 5 years. But after drinking 10, 15, 20 other times we came back to fly. It was around the start of 2020. And we've been in devotion to this medicine specifically since then. Little fun fact as well I'll share with you guys is I do a thing called a vibration audit, so I can test the frequency of something using the map of consciousness. And back in 2020 I was doing a vibration audit on all the cacaos that I was drinking, and most of them were vibrating on the David Hawkins scale at around 200, which is around the frequency of courage. Quite a few are vibrating at the frequency of fear, which is 75 out of 1,000. And then I tested fly. Fly was vibrating at 3,000 off the scale in terms of its vibration. And that was a further confirmation as to why this is our favorite medicine. And we literally, for the last nearly 4 years now, it has been always in our cupboard and always in our bellies. So thank you, Kenz, for bringing this medicine to all of us. It is an absolute gift. It has transformed our lives. It has supported us to purify, to feel more. Sometimes we drink it and we just start crying. We don't know why, but that's the beauty of this medicine. And it has held our union through so much. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you for all that we've already received. And it has been an absolute gift and a blessing. And then becoming close with you has been the cherry on top and so much more. So thank you. How's our sound doing now? Is the sound doing better, guys? Give me a thumbs up if it's better. Okay, great. Now we know. Amazing. So there are three things that come to mind when I think about the energetic of purification. Before into that, I speak about why PURIFY. Now I'm going to say some of the ones that started, and then I'll go into more deeper layers, because one of the things that Abby and I are known for is navigating and traversing very, very deep waters. That's what we're really known for. And essentially, on a very basic kind of 3D level, the reason why purification is so important is because everything you consume becomes you. Every single thing you touch becomes you. Whether it's this piece of wood here that is holding my laptop up, that becomes part of my microbiome within 3 days. If it's the glass mirror in front of me here, if it's the LED light to my right, if it's the carpet, if it's the grass, if it's the earth, if it's a tree, that becomes my microbiome 3 days later. Right, so biologically it has an effect and it shifts our molecular structure, everything we come into contact with. So we look at the idea of consumption, which most of us agree that we're in a state for most of humanity of overconsumption, which clogs us up. The energetic of greed creates stagnancy, creates density, creates things locking into place. It creates things called psychic trauma, which is multiple emotions getting stuck together. How actually happen? That happens because we'll be feeling some sort of emotion or that we don't know how to digest through our nervous system. So we then digest food to avoid dealing with it. So then whatever, if that was grief or sadness that was underneath the surface, then we put onto that fear and then a feeling of addiction, then some shame. All of a sudden now we're corkscrewing these psychic traumas into our nervous system. So what's really interesting is that one of the things that we can do right now, and up to you guys how deep you want to take this particular aspect, is look at everything in our life that we do right now and just take inventory. If I fully accepted that everything that I consume and surround myself with, my environment, the food, the people, the social media, if everything is becoming me, then how much of it do I actually want to be embodied in? How many of these elements that I receive on a day-to-day basis is actually the life that I'm creating? I often coach people in business and cultivating and building out their vision, right? And one of the things I usually get them to do is to write down a list of every single thing we do every single day. What fills up your day? From the amount of times you eat to the types of food you eat, like write down how many hours you sleep, write down every single thing. You can start doing this now if you feel a call to. And you write down every single thing, every single aspect. I do 20 minutes of yoga. I go for a walk each day. I drink my coffee at this time. I go to this place. I spend 10 minutes on social media here. And you just get a bit of an inventory. It might take you 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, or maybe take it as a journal going throughout your day. And then very objectively, but very sincerely, then look at that and go, out of 10, how aligned is that to the life that I say that I actually want? And to really look at it and go, wow, I'm saying I want to make more impact, make more money, calling my beloved, but 60% of my behavior does not mirror that. So by writing it all down and getting really honest with ourselves, it's kind of the first step. We facilitate a lot of emotional work, a lot of somatic, a lot of transformational work, etc. And one of the first things that we have to be willing to do is be honest with ourselves. And honest to the level that if someone were to come into our home and see all of us behind the scenes, that we know for a fact we've been honest with ourselves. Because only we know what happens behind the scenes when no one else is around. And those are the times that matter the most, especially when it comes to cultivating and building confidence for ourselves. Having the felt experience, because the illusion of integrity is this external illusion of perfection that most of the world holds, but it's actually not real. True integrity is a felt experience of like, I know I follow through with what I need to do for my life to be of service to the greater whole, to be of service to my family, to my friends, to my community. I know behind the scenes, I'm doing everything I can to be the best version of myself. And then when someone says to you or says to me or says to Mackenzie, this person has a lot of integrity, what they're speaking to is all those moments behind the scenes. They're not talking about her on stage, her facilitating cacao. They're talking about every little moment behind the scenes that led to that feeling you get of trust because she trusts herself or because you trust yourself. But the only way to cultivate integrity is radical honesty. So that's always the first step. And then what I get really, I suppose, a little bit obsessed with is alchemizing emotion and doing the best that we can to do it in a really sincere way. Towards the end of this call, perhaps here in about 20 or 30 minutes or so, we might dive into a process. And one of the things that we navigate in this time is there's so much to feel that we actually don't know how to fully process or digest every single thing that's happening. Something I heard recently, I think it was, I can't remember his name now. He's a biohacking guy. He's a scientist. And he was talking about how, watching a movie or reading a book is really, really healthy for our mind. The reason why is because it's one story, one context. And we go on a journey for a period of time. When you go on Instagram and you swipe upwards, you're getting 100 contexts in 20 minutes sometimes or less. And this is very unhealthy for our mind because what it's teaching us to not complete anything. We want to be in right relation with the earth, with ourselves, our bodies, and feel our emotions. Yeah, we've just stacked on 25 other things that we don't know how to process, just like that. So what's interesting is that we all have so much, we actually have quite a lot more sovereignty than we think we do, and a lot more autonomy than we think we do. Yet we don't choose to use it correctly in a way that actually is progressive and supportive of what we're actually wanting to experience. So how do we move through life and start to digest and kind of sort through all of the information, all of the energy that's coming in, everything, and all the ways that we feel about it? We have to understand what's kind of on top that's holding what's underneath, because purification, the first two things that come to my mind when I think of purification is emotional clearing and fasting. The reason why I love fasting is fasting will support you to clear out all distractions and fully be with whatever's alive. And if you can, if you feel courageous enough, dry fasting is that next level again, where there's absolutely nothing to distract you. And towards the end, I'll share a bit of a strategy if you ever feel curious about dry fasting. Dry fasting, the reason why you would do that is it basically regenerates your cells. So if you dry fast or even water fast, what happens is you shrink down your organs down to about 60% when you get to about the 3-day mark in a water fast or 36-hour mark in a dry fast. And then what happens as your organs shrink down, the white blood cells, the stronger ones, start to eat the weaker ones. And as they shrink down, what happens is everything that is not a vibrational match to where you're going, not pure, not who you truly are, is excess baggage, excess junk, toxic DNA, etc., starts to get eaten by the stronger DNA and cells. And then when you then eat food again, you drink cacao again, you start to rebuild again, you're rebuilding anew. So you have a new 40% of regeneration of each organ in your body. Your kidneys, your lungs, your heart, every part of your body shrinks down by 40%. That's a very powerful way. And in that process, as you're going on that descent into the body, into the cells, into matter, you start to feel and face all the things that you've been avoiding. That's a really powerful strategy. And I'll share a couple of tips on that towards the end as well, just so you guys have some tangible things to walk away with. But coming back to my point before around, you know, all of the input and all that we're consuming, all that comes towards us, and the multiple touch points, and this person, if you've got children, it's like far out. I've got 4 people, 5 people to measure against. Is any mamas or parents on this live? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
See a little bambino there.
So cute. Amazing. We've got our first baby. He's 11 months old. 11 months old. Yeah. 11 months. He's gonna be 12 months actually. His name is Isaiah. He's a prince, and he's also a dragon. But any parent will know, it's like, wow, you've got, okay, so I'm feeling triggered and my baby's crying. Holy fuck, what do I do now? Extra, more things coming in, right? And there's more things to process. So the 2 first steps of like getting into the kind of core nucleus of getting into some of these, some we call the subterranean layers of cleansing and purifying emotion, is the first step is denial. The first thing we have to do is have the honesty with ourselves and go, holy shit, there's stuff that I'm actually not dealing with and processing. What I'm going to share is a Kubler-Ross, which is a 30 or 40-year-old grief model, but I've actually modified in the way that I teach it because I feel there's more dimension for the modern day and what we're actually navigating in today's day and age. But the top of the spectrum is denial. And denial is we avoid it completely. So let's just say someone you love passes away. This is the person that goes into being strong and avoids feeling completely. They go into denial, they go into the mind, they go into getting stuff done, they go back into work, they bury themselves back into life, and they avoid actually processing what's under the surface, the grieving of that person. Underneath that is anger. And anger holds down all the rest of them, which is bargaining, fear, depression, and grief. So when you pop off the lid of anger, when you actually process anger or rage, if that's in there, which for most of us it often is, or even hatred, I'll talk about it in a second, what actually opens up is it's like you're pulling the lid off a jar that has been wanting to explode out of the jar for many, many months or years, or in some cases for some of us, decades. So I'm going to pause here because I want to pass it to my babe. She is someone that has taught me more than anybody else, more than any other teacher or guru, about processing emotions and being with emotions and feeling and, you know, coming into integrity from like a self-responsible way. So I'll pass it to you and just mix up the flavor a little bit.
Mix up the flavor. Well, I also want to leave it open for Kenz because I know her channel's probably like pop in. She might have some things too as well. But yeah, I mean, who's resonating with what he's sharing? It's potent, right? All the things about purification. Thank you. I so appreciate his mind and his ability to compile information and just communicate so clearly. For me, when I think about purification and the journey that I've been on the past month, it's all been around the womb space for me as women. And there's a lot of womb purification taking place because we're realizing how much we create all of life and we birth all of life through that portal. So our pleasure lives there, our rage lives there, our grief lives there, our ability to land anything from spirit into matter comes through the portal of our womb. And there's this huge reawakening that's happening for myself right now around the witch, like the archetype of the witch, the ownership of that energy. You can call it priestess, you can call it wise woman, whatever, this archetype right now that we're all being asked to embody, and it requires purification and taking sovereignty over our womb. Oracle, yes. And so that's really been a big focal point for me, and the work that I'm doing with women is to purify that. Psychically, there's a lot of energies that connect to our womb space and are interfering with our ability to create. You know, I work with women that will come to me and they're struggling to land anything or bring it into form, and they don't know why. They're frustrated. They've got all these ideas. They don't know how to bring it through. And often there's energies that need to be cleared, and a purification needs to happen in our womb for that to take place. And obviously, being a mother myself and having had a child come through the portal of my womb, I had no idea about what this incredible space actually does. I mean, there's one thing to know about it, but then when you actually walk through those gates and you bring life through your womb, mothers out there, like, it is another freaking kettle of fish, I have to say. And psychically, I've expanded so much, and I've had to take responsibility for my psychic field and purify that on a daily, and looking at, as a mother, my role of being the altar. I literally feel like I am the living, walking altar of our family in each moment. It's my family responds to the frequencies that are coming through me, and I have to take responsibility. I get to take responsibility for what is playing out in my external reality through my altar, through the temple of my body. And so I'm happy to go more into that. Obviously, the other piece that connects to that is sexuality. For us, purifying our sexuality, purifying our Kundalini energy, to be the sacred activist, to have the energy to be moved by something greater. It's a purification, and it's a willingness to work with our Kundalini energy. And I know Ken's the month before, it was all about the Shakti, and it was absolutely perfectly in alignment for where we are. You know, she's always just on it, isn't she? She's tapped in, next thing comes in, you're like, oh yeah, girl, you just nailed that one.
Hashtags Ken knows.
I know, she knows. Cacao knows, she knows. So yeah, I'm happy to
something
go
that
anywhere
you
from
said
here.
that really, I felt it in my throat, right here, was when you said, take back sovereignty over our wombs. That hit me really deep, and perhaps it could be powerful to just articulate a bit deeper on what that actually means.
Let's see what wants to come through. Well, all I'm feeling right now is the dragon energy. And it's also connection to mother, to the mother, to Gaia. Again, Kenz has just written an epic book about this. I mean, multiple times a day at the moment, to be truth, I'm having to call back my sovereignty in my womb. So I'm literally casting energetic sovereignty over my womb space. So how that looks is I'll put my hands in this position as like a little symbol, the womb position that everyone, well, maybe you don't know, but this is it. Well, that's what I do. And I pop it down over my womb space, and I literally call back my sovereignty, call back my power in my womb space, releasing myself from any times, dimensions, places, spaces, people, past, present, and future, any interference in my womb. I cast energetic sovereignty over my womb space. I call all of my power, I reclaim all of my love, all of my divine right to create as a woman back to my womb space. I consecrate my womb space. I trust the wisdom of my womb. So yeah, the words that we speak, we're casting spells with our words. How can we reclaim the power with our words? How can we redirect the energy with the words that we speak? So that's one of the main ways that I reclaim sovereignty over my womb, and with the waters as well, with the sacred water.
I'd like to share something on this if I can, yeah. So I've had the gift of spending a lot of time with a lot of really amazing, powerful women, and I resonate deeply with having close sisters in my life. So I've been subjected to this world a lot. And the thread that was coming through as you were speaking about it, it's taking me back to the ancient mysteries when pre-10,000 years ago, pre-patriarchy, many civilizations were actually matriarchal. Yeah. basically meaning led by the feminine energetic. For the last 10,000 years, which has been patriarchy, there's a lot of matriarchal rule. And what happens in that time is what is prioritized is community, connection, intimacy, ritual, togetherness, people actually looking after each other. You've probably experienced this in retreats. Someone's experienced, you've probably experienced it with Kenz, you've probably experienced it in any other spiritual circles you've been in, where it's like we're putting ritual, ceremony, and the heart first, and then we'll go into business. Then we'll go into all that stuff. That's great, epic. We'll go to the 3D, into the science, into that. That's as required, but it's putting the feminine first, right? Kind of like the chivalry that we, some of us hope to fulfill and embody. But what I was really feeling in that moment around casting sovereignty of your womb was like, I felt the extension of that, of the earth. And it's almost like us calling back the sovereignty of the earth. And us clearing, and I'm just seeing thousands, perhaps millions of women around the world casting sovereignty over their wombs and calling back all their power and all their sovereignty back into their womb, and actually how that energetically shifts the morphogenic field on the planet and it actually calls the earth back into sovereignty, because the women are the earth. You guys are here to be that representation. So the more women that actually activate that, open that, and start to play with what we'll call magic, I suppose, but I can also call it prayer, is we're starting to each person call the energy back to us. Because, you know, someone asked me yesterday, I was doing an interview about an event we have coming up and like what is required from entrepreneurs. I am a male, and I said actually to connect in deeper with the earth. In the 80s, it was spoken about, you know, there's a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, really powerful book. Stephen Covey popularized the terminology win-win. And like that for me is the future of entrepreneurship.
Wait 1 second, we're just breaking up.
Yeah, cool. Breaking up a little bit.
Say that sentence again.
Yeah, so essentially what I was speaking about, and someone asked me what the most important thing for entrepreneurs to do right now is, and it's actually to create win-win-win-win-win-win-win for every single sentient being, knowing that Earth itself is a celestial body. It's a celestial sentient being, the Earth is. And when we talk about doing business, we talk about creating a win-win-win for people in business. It's like that's inclusive of, if anything, it's actually prioritizing the Earth first and then going into the rest of the other elements that we might create from or manifest. So yeah, just again, what I was seeing when you were sharing that, babe, is like the feminine coming into self-responsibility and calling back the power to their womb. And then energetically what that does for the earth is it goes, now is the time, because you guys are the alchemists of the earth. Men are as well, but women, y'all do that shit next level. I've seen it so many times. Like there's a way that you guys can do it that is like poetry in motion. Honestly, what you guys are able to alchemize for the collective is absolutely like groundbreaking, extraordinary, and leaves me speechless. So yeah, I think it goes without saying I'm a devotion to the feminine in many ways, but rightly so. Rightly so. We've had enough of what we're already seeing in the world in Israel, Morocco, Lahaina, all these places. And as much as it's part of the process, it's like it's requiring that activation for us to start paying attention and to start plugging in and going, what can I do? And the first step, perhaps for a lot of us, is moving from denial into processing anger. But really, it's about coming back to truth. Really, it's about becoming more of a hollow bone, a conduit for heaven on earth, and walking each step with intention. I had someone say recently that the sun and the stars are electric and the earth is magnetic and we are electromagnetic. So just by living on earth, you're already magnetizing things down to the earth. But if it's going through an unpurified vessel, what you're landing on the earth is different to if your vessel is pure. As Adam Roa says, where we create from is what we are creating. Where we create from is what we are creating in the world. All right, so
Kenz, have you got any questions or things you want to get us to?
I mean, this is just, I'm just like, keep it rolling. Right? The synchronicities of what you're sharing, um, being the altar of your family, taking sovereignty over your womb, the invitation for us women to do that even more so, to trust ourselves even more. And then, I mean, everything you both are sharing is just really deep. Thank you. Let me tune in. I don't know if I have any questions. Is there anything else you want to share on that? Like, is there more to elaborate on?
I mean, how much time you got?
Yeah, let's go.
Half an hour.
What feels authentic is to drop us into a process, and what I desire to drop everyone into is it's going into anger in a very regulated way. And originally I created it because I really could see, because we'll have facilitated thousands of people, and just the edges people meet and the sensitivity of the nervous system when it comes to processing big emotions. And what I've kind of created is a bit of a structure to facilitate people into a healthy anger release, which will lead to more creativity, more passion, more aliveness, and access to the deeper undercurrent emotions in a way that's not like chaos, so to
It's
speak.
not blowing the lid off. We're not going to fry your nervous system. We are going to do this in a really integrative way.
Yeah.
And also we need your consent. It's up to you. You don't have to partake in this if it doesn't feel true. And you can if you want to, or you can come back to the recording of this at another time. But I think what we're really passionate about is giving. So we could sit here and tell lots of stories, and happy to do that also. But what we feel is more empowering is to go together into an experience with this constellation of people on this full moon at this time on the planet, to actually create a miraculous opportunity for all of you somatically. That feels more juicy for us. And I just want to say on the rage piece, the rage, like for me, has been the key to unlocking my eros. The rage is the key to unlocking your creative life force. It's the key to energizing your system. It's the key to allowing life to actually move you, to God, Goddess, to Gaia, to actually come through and take you, lead you, guide you. And it should be celebrated, not to be afraid of it. It's a celebration. And I just want to acknowledge today specifically, like I went to the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic today at Cornwall, and just the amount of women and men actually that, you know, lost their lives on this journey of reclaiming their wisdom. Because to me, witch means wisdom keeper. It means woman of the earth, right? And we have the absolute honor and privilege right now to be sacred stewards of the earth in safety, in a lot more safety than we ever have done. And so this is a really powerful opportunity for us to be a voice for those women and those men that have come before us, that have paved the way, you know. And yeah,
Let's go through the moment. Is that there's something that I've personally created distinctions around due to the language that's used often by conscious community, spiritual community, is that it's often spoken about, you know, we start to heal, we transform, we become more aware, and we become more empathetic or more sensitive, right? Who's become more sensitive in the last 3, 4, or 5 years? Yeah. Okay, so that's really potent, right? Because you're feeling more, you're becoming more extrasensory, and you're starting to connect with more things than just numbness inside the body. But what's really fascinating is that I see being sensitive as a stage of the journey, but then the evolutionary point from there is sensory attunement. So what is sensory attunement? Sensory attunement is the ability to actually feel something. You could be feeling a lot, but you're able to stay coherent with what you're feeling. And you walk into a room and you might be able to go, I feel like there's unprocessed grief in somebody, right? You might see somebody, a friend. If you walk into a room and there's 100 people in there and you're feeling really sensitive, it can be quite overwhelming. However, if you're sensory attuned, you can actually process the information more efficiently, and you don't get overwhelmed by being in a room full of people. Because a lot of us don't want to actually have to stay indoors more because we're getting more sensitive or more empathetic. We actually do want to spend more time with people, or we've created a belief that I'm not meant to be around as many people because I'm so sensitive, when actually a fully empowered being would actually be able to go anywhere and do anything at any time. True or false, right? Yeah, someone that's truly empowered would be able to go to a concert, with an AC/DC concert if they wanted to, with 60,000 people, and rock on for fucking 3 hours and have a great time, and then simultaneously the next day be in meditation, yoga, and breath work. Right? There's no reason why you can't do all of what feels true for you. You know what I mean? Everyone's got different tastes. So one of the keys to unlocking the difference between, because when we're sensitive or even oversensitive, it's because there's so much tension and buildup in the nervous system that we're holding a lot in, and anything that touches it creates a trigger and a contraction. And we're walking through life, and most of humanity has got a lot of suppressed emotions, suppressed shame, guilt, grief, hatred towards self, hatred towards the masculine, the feminine. And we're walking past them, and we're like these little tuning forks that are like vibrating every time we walk past a person. But if we've resolved that inside ourselves, we can feel it, we sense it, we know it, we move it through our body, or it doesn't even affect us. Because one of the most potent ways to protect your energy, to create a really to really energetically create a container around your soul, is to have no energy leaks. And energy leaks are created from things that can hook in, or unprocessed emotions that can hook in. Yeah, so a darker energy can only plug into you if you have a complementary emotion that you haven't processed. That is the only way a darker energy can actually come into your space. So when I do energy clearings for people, it's less about trying to do as much magic. I'm like, what's the underlying emotion? Once I clear that, whatever that thing was that was connected to you, could be anything you want to call it, it can't, because there's no thing for it to connect to. It has no power over you. Yeah, so going into this experience, I remember 5 years ago, one of my teachers just supported me to, I wanted to not take on as much of people's energy when I was facilitating deep spaces. And what they showed me was, actually, if I facilitate you to creating a more solid container by bringing you into more emotional integrity, you don't need as much quote unquote protection, because your container is whole. Yeah, you've got no vibrating, our emotions are magnetic, as Uncle Joe says, right? Negative and positive, not just the positive ones, it's the negative ones too. There's less of those beacons calling in negative people we don't want to be around, etc. So again, anger, rage is like the beginning of that, and the rest will kind of flow from there. So I will let you guys know as well that if more emotions come up for you after this in the coming days, to be really gentle with yourself, spend plenty of time in nature, put your feet deep, plant your feet on the earth, take deep, long, full breaths, and really be present with yourself. And also just really practice not creating too much story or dialogue around what you're experiencing, and just allow yourself to feel and breathe into the feeling and sensation of what you're feeling. Because sometimes we get so in the story that the mind starts to take over, and we try and define it, and then it gets locked back away again. We're having to move from, most of us are at the level of repressing our emotions, which is we unconsciously suppress our emotions. Because we've practiced suppressing so much, we now repress, which is now the unconscious goes, oh, I need to suppress this. You've been suppressing this, so let me just keep doing that for you. So as this opens up, the repressed emotions may come to the surface. And that's really important, to hold gentle, loving space for yourself, and to be really, really present. Journaling is really effective. Going out in nature is really effective. Drinking plenty of water is really effective. And also very, very deep, long, full breaths is also really supportive. I'll show you a breath technique on the back end of this, so you can play with that in your own time as well. Cool.
Yeah, just feeling, again, to emphasize, if you are available for this experience now and you would like to receive this, just getting your energetic yes. So if you'd like to put that in the comments, if you feel like it's a yes. I probably wouldn't recommend this if you do have a little baby present. I wouldn't recommend doing this experience now with little Bubba present. Would you say?
No.
Yeah, because we're going, yeah.
If there are other children around you, especially children under 10 years old, see if you can go into the room, just so you can have a lot more privacy. The challenge with children is, because they obviously haven't developed emotionally, and their conscious mind hasn't developed yet, is that when they experience their parent or primary caregiver in anger, they can't feel love, and that can create a bit of a wound there as well. So just really taking care of the little ones and making sure that there is a bit of space for them as well. And if you're by yourself in your own space, perfect. And if you can, you don't need much. Just if you can grab a pillow, 1 or 2 pillows, that'll be really good. You can stay in your seat where you are. You don't have to set up anything else, just like a nice pillow and cushion. And like we said, it's going to be a very integrated approach. It's not going to be this wild thing that blows the lid off, and if that's in there, by all means go for it. But please know that doesn't have to happen for it to work. Yeah. So
the key is being anchored in your authenticity today.
Yeah.
Like really listening to your authentic expression, your body, and where you're at. And I'm going to let Jared really lead this, because he's put something together for you, but I'm going to be present. And I think the intention here is what's coming through is that this can be very miraculous. Yeah. And also just acknowledging like the Holy Family, the presence of the Holy Family. Yeshua and Magdalene have been with me all day, and they want to be acknowledged in this space, the divine, the sacred couple, and what they have alchemized, what all of these practices that they would also do together individually for themselves and the planet. And so let's open to something miraculous from this together. Let's just be curious and see what wants to emerge today. And yeah, that's all I feel to say. Is there anything else, babe, in terms of getting set up? Or
no, it's it. Just making sure your spaces are nice and clear. You can stay in a seat if you want to come onto the ground. You can definitely go deeper if you're on the ground, but you don't have to.
how long is this experience, so they know?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. I mean, 20 minutes. You don't even need to have a cup of coffee or anything for the day. You've got your cacao. You're going to be so energized and alive after this experience. Here we go. Let's have a go, shall we? I'll have a go.
Yeah, well, you can demonstrate if you want, babe.
Oh.
So couple of keynotes before we begin. If you're sitting in a seat that has armrests, that can be really effective because you can actually grip your armrests. If you don't have armrests, have a cushion close by, because gripping something will start the energy of it. If you have a slightly bigger pillow, you can place it across your lap if you want. And just that motion of hitting, it is a reclamation of energy back to you. So just that motion can be quite powerful, and it can start quite gentle and expand over time. It doesn't need to start chaotic. What we're going to do is we're going to move through the spectrum of anger. So just quickly, what the spectrum of anger is on the front end of anger. What it actually is irritation. So there's this feeling, and most of us know what the feeling of irritation feels like. It's like that little bit of something getting underneath your skin. It's like that thing when you go, right, that huff, that puff, that's irritation. The second level is frustration. So frustration is when your blood begins to boil, you start to get a little bit more tense in your body. Perhaps you start to really huff or start to feel things under your breath. Perhaps frustration is when you say things under your breath, like, oh, fucking, of course you did that again, like, that you fucked up again, that kind of language. That's frustration. That's good. It's a bit heavy, and you can definitely feel it in your heart and your limbs. The next step up from there is anger. And anger is when you start to fully own and the bridge for your boundaries, right? So the reason why we have anger is actually as a protection mechanism, so that when someone crosses our boundary, or as I like to say, fucks with us, we go, hey, no, not interested, not available for that. And that could be in many different scenarios. It could be someone that you don't know in the street coming up to you and being inappropriate. It could be something sexual. It could be anything. So the anger is your defense mechanism. But that level is where you usually start to speak and get more verbal. And at that particular point, when we get to that, I'm going to encourage you to say things like no really loud. And also, if it feels true for you, you can say the word fuck or fuck off or anything else that feels like it's alive. The key thing here is to trust what's on your throat, because whatever is there needs to be expressed for this to be authentic. To move from denial to anger, it requires us to say exactly what's there, regardless of how ugly or dark or whatever it sounds like. Just say it as it is without the story. Don't justify it. Don't bargain. Bargain is intellectualizing. Just say what you mean. If the world said what they mean more, it would be a lot more clear, right? So that's anger. And if it goes into rage, rage is that point generally where you perhaps see red, you feel red internally, and you generally go all the way in and you fully let go. Now I'm going to track it. And for those that want to go all the way to rage, the space is going to be available for you to do that. You can go all the way into rage. I'll guide it in a way that's really eloquent so you can actually go there and there's a container for it. But know if that doesn't feel authentic for you, just stay with the level of anger today. Okay? So yeah, irritation, frustration, anger, rage. Cool. All right, babe, you're going to give them a bit of a demo as well when you're in it.
I was just tuning into not making too much noise so that they can actually have the full experience themselves.
Great.
Okay?
Perfect.
So I might just like hold space.
Great. All right, guys. So just taking a moment just to tune in. Yeah. And right where you are right now, just closing down your eyes and just beginning to connect in with what's alive for you. There's been a lot shared in this call so far, a lot of conversations, a lot of elements around the womb, around the rainbow light warrior, about the prophecy of the eagle and the condor, about self-responsibility, about our responsibility as leaders, as people that are here to birth the golden age. And you felt your own experience of that. Perhaps some parts of it were triggering, some created energy, some felt like they triggered you into feeling like you wanted to close off. Whatever you've experienced, just allowing that to be fully present inside your body now. Taking a nice full breath in through the nose and just filling the body with extra oxygen right now, and just allowing yourself to amplify any sensations that are currently present in your body. That's it. And just noticing now the different sensations, the buzzing, the vibrating, the heaviness, any stuckness, or any lightness, or any higher vibrations. But just really tracking what you can feel. And now just placing your hand on your body where you feel the most energy. Where is the energy the most alive? Where it feels most alive, just take a few breaths in through the nose and just allow the energy and that aliveness to have a little bit of space, create a bit more spaciousness wherever you can feel that aliveness. Letting this part of you know that it's safe, that it is welcomed, and just calling all parts of you to be fully welcomed here. Calling in your guides, your guardians, perhaps your dragons if you have any. And just calling them all here, calling them a bit closer in to hold space for your container, to seal it tight with love, with reverence for your process, in honoring of the sacred work that you're doing today. And just allowing yourself to feel that just for a moment, how you're never alone. Aloneness is actually an illusion. In every moment, whether you're by yourself, in the physical, or with people, you are never alone. Every one of us has at least 2 guides and 1 guardian that journey with us everywhere we go. For a moment now, allowing yourself to really feel where you are right now. Acknowledging every single part of your journey thus far. that has led you to this moment. Every challenge, every triumph, every failure, every success. That's it. Honoring every stage of your journey that has led you to here and now. Now allowing yourself to feel what is unfolding on the planet. The different people that need support right now. Some are defenseless, broken, very little options. The question is, how can you help? How can you support? And step one is taking self-responsibility right here, right now. Taking a nice full breath in through the nose. And as you exhale out, just allowing yourself to bring into your mind's eye a moment, a recent moment where you felt a feeling of irritation. Something irritated you. It might have been a family member, a partner, one of your children perhaps, a situation at work, or it could be something behind the scenes where you've let yourself down. Just allowing yourself to see the first thing that comes to your mind when you tune into the last time you were feeling irritated. And as you feel this moment, allow yourself to remember what it felt like to be in that moment. Give yourself permission to step back in to that moment. See what unfolded. See who else was there. And just begin to allow the feeling, the sensation, the tingling of the irritation to come back. Giving full permission for it to be felt. Breathing in through the nose and just allowing it to gently amplify. That's it, fully allowing your body to feel the irritation. Feel the discomfort. And as that moment starts to become real again, be relived again, tuning now into a time when you felt recently, could be the same experience perhaps, frustration. Starting now to grip whatever you have around you, whether it's your chair, your armrests, your cushion, and just start to welcome in the feeling of tensing of the body. Taking a breath in and exhaling out an exertion with the sound of frustration. Just let yourself go back into that moment. See what was happening, see who was there with you. Just allow the contractions and the energies of that frustration to build internally again. Starting to welcome in the sensations of heat, of warmth. Fully allowing it now, fully welcoming the frustration in. It's safe for you to feel frustrated, it's safe for you to be human, it's safe for you to feel this. As you deepen with the breath, breathing into the belly, let yourself fully begin to claim and fully feel this emotion as yours. Being fully responsible for what you're feeling right now. Seeing what played out and seeing with yourself and stepping fully into that moment of frustration. Welcome now the sound, let the sound come out, exerting the sound of frustration, letting off some steam. As we slowly now transition, we allow ourselves to feel the last time, if not the same time, we were angry. We start to grip the pillow, we grip the armrest, we start to feel our body start to tense up, we allow the feeling to be fully felt, we start to welcome it to build and build and build. It is safe for you to feel anger, that is it. Breathing deep, fully letting ourselves feel it at a cellular level. Deep breaths into the belly. Let it start to take over, let the feeling of it start to take over. There might be someone's face that you feel anger, suppressed anger towards. Allow yourself to see their face now. Keep allowing it, keep welcoming it, keep beckoning it forward. You might be feeling your solar plexus, your heart, your belly. Breathing it in now, letting yourselves fully drink in the feeling of anger, tensing your hands. Build it and amplify it now over the course of the next 3 breaths. That's it, gently building it, letting it start to consume you just for this moment so you can release it and fully embrace it. On this next inhale in, I want you to say really loud, no. Assert your boundary. No. That's it. Inhaling in again, fully feeling your anger, and then say no with full clarity. Disrupt the energy field. Say no again. Taking a stand for what you believe in, claiming back your sovereignty, breathing in and saying really loud with conviction, no, enough. For all the times that people have crossed your boundaries, you've let yourself down, you've allowed other people to let you down, you've allowed people to come into your home, your family. Breathing in again now and saying whatever feels true, whatever's under the surface. It might be fuck, it might be fuck off. Take a deep breath and let out whatever's in there. It might be someone's name, whatever it is. Fully allow it, fully go there. That's it. Screaming into the pillow if you have to. Most importantly though, feeling the energy. Build it, release it. That's it. Trusting your body. It's safe to feel anger. It's safe to feel all of your emotions. Taking a moment now just to tune into your body and bring yourself back to a gently more regulated state. Just allowing yourself now to start to feel what's beginning to unearth. We're going to go in one more time. There's space here for those that want to go all the way into rage, and if anger feels enough for you, then by all means stay there. Taking a moment just to evaluate what you can feel. Where you can feel tension, where you can feel pain. Pain in the body is suppressed anger and fear. To access the deeper fears, to set yourself free, we must feel anger first. So breathing now, breathing into the womb if you're a woman, breathing into your belly if you're a man, and just breathing in, allowing yourself to just make peace with the fact that there's something in there that perhaps wants to move today. As you breathe now, start to let that feeling amplify. The key piece here, more so than the externalizing, is the fully claiming and embodying the feeling. Tracking the sensations now, allowing it to gently build again as before. This is for the children, this is for our ancestors, this is for Mother Earth, this is for Gaia. Taking a few deep breaths in here. That's it. Allowing yourself to get a bit more wild, a little more tribal, a little more angry for all the pain that is created on this earth. Those that are taken advantage of, those that are unrightfully slaughtered. That's it, let it build, let it build, let it build, breathe, breathe, fully feeling it. In about 15 seconds we're going to go for another exertion, but before that, fully feel it. Feel what stirs you. It might be pain from an ex-partner or your parents or any other scenarios in your life. It could be what's happening in the world. Let it stir you now. Full permission. 2 full breaths in. Inhale in. Fully feel it. Exhaling with a tone. Let the dragon start to come out. Inhaling in again. Let the dragon out. Now a big full inhale in and unleash whatever sound is in there, perhaps into the pillow out loud. Inhale in. Feel it for a moment, let it build, and then unleash it into the pillow. Perhaps slamp your fists if you have to. Let it move. Make whatever sounds, whatever feelings are in there, let them all out. That's it, now is your chance. For every single time humanity has taken from the earth more than we need. For all the times that we've all taken more than we need. For all the times we've let people cross our boundaries. That's it, feel it, breathe it, feel it, and then release it again. That's it. Last 60 seconds here, allowing yourself to fully go there. If you want to go into rage, hit your fists and shake your face and just let it rip. Just let yourself go all the way there without story, let go completely. Reclaiming back your birthright. Reclaiming back your power. That's it. Last 30 seconds, just taking a second to breathe in and feel whatever else is stirring in you. You may be complete here. If you're complete, that's totally perfect and fine. If you're not complete, take a few more breaths in. Build it, build it, build it. A few more breaths in. Feel whatever's in there. Feel it viscerally. And then one last exertion into the pillow. Let it all go. There you go. That's it. Trusting your body. It's safe for you to feel the full spectrum of your emotions. It's safe for you to be fully here. To love your life. And letting it all begin now to settle. Letting it all settle. Letting the body relax. And taking a few breaths in here. Just taking a few last cleansing breaths here, just to really allow the nervous system to regulate. Breathing in, exhaling out with a sigh. The sigh stimulates the vagus nerve, which will drop you back into a parasympathetic state of rest and digest. Nice long exhales. And now we'll do a breath technique to really deeply drop you into integration. Breathing in for 4 through the nose, holding for 6, exhaling out for 8. We'll begin in 3, 2, 1. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale out with sound and soften the body. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4.
hold, feel whatever else is lingering, stirring inside, holding the breath in the inhale, and whatever stirring, stir, and then with sound, exhale out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep going with that same rhythm, that same pace in your own time. Placing your hands on your heart, your hand on your belly, letting your body know that it's safe. Allowing yourself to feel now the love from the earth moving through your body. The medicine of Gaia, this unconditional, unwavering love of the Divine Mother. That's it. Feeling how loved you are. She's there every step you take, nourishing with every breath you take. She provides more than enough for you in every single moment. Really filling your heart now with the love of the earth, the love of the mother. That's it. Allow yourself to drink this into every single cell now. The heart is a portal for love. Let it spill throughout the rest of your body. Invoking the cacao to drop that essence even deeper into us at a cellular level. Calling in Mother Mary, Yeshua, Magdalena, Sarah, the Holy Family, to encase you in the most tender, divine, pure love. That's it. It's safe for you to fully feel. Welcoming all parts of you. If there's tears present, that's beautiful, and it's all welcome. If there's bliss present, that's beautiful, all welcome. Anything else that's present for you. Just allowing it here, allowing it now. You are safe, born worthy of love. You are more than enough. You have everything you need already inside of you. And so it is. Aho, amen, Ashe, blessed be. Thank you. Thank you for trusting yourself, for trusting your body, and for meeting yourself wherever you are today. Just taking a couple of moments here, just to allow yourself to integrate.
acknowledge each of you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for participating in this purification ritual with us this evening. Just seeing each of our flames alchemizing all of this with such love and burning even brighter, stronger, more holy, more whole. I just want to acknowledge that it is now it's the completion of the 90 minutes, so if any of you need to leave and complete here, then please do so, and make sure that you take some time to ground, feet on the earth, regulate with Gaia, with the Great Mother. Make sure you hydrate, and if
Journal. Journal what you experienced, and with no judgment of it, just objectively observe what you experienced. And then the last piece is just that breath, in for 4, hold for 6, exhale out for 8. It is a really beautiful practice when you're moving through bigger, denser emotions that are sometimes harder to complete. It will regulate your nervous system really deeply. It'll put you back into like a theta brainwave state, a place where you can meet deeper aspects of yourself. And it helps things just to move through more sincerely. I say sincerely because sometimes we're not sure if we fully process something, but breathing in that rhythm helps us to actually feel, there that goes, that just moved, okay, great. So that we can actually feel a completion with our process. And also, we're happy to stick around for another 10 minutes or 15, whatever felt true for those that do want to stick around. Happy to ask any questions.
Shares,
Yeah.
Mackenzie, we'll pass it over to you.
I think, we'll wrap this up, and I know all of us are feeling deeply grateful to have had you lead us through that process and just shine your light on us and your hearts. And it's just your embodiment is so felt. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We adore you. Are there any questions or things that anyone wants to chime in about right now before we just close out and bring some completion to this and go about our days in integration? Yes.
Oh, can I speak?
Yes, love. Hello.
Hello. Well, thank you for that. That was really magical. And I was actually particularly glad that you had wanted to work on anger and even rage. Something I've been feeling for months, honestly, like 2 years in general. And it's emotion I never felt up until like the last couple of years. And I find that it is very difficult to process anger and rage. I find that right now, as much as I release, I'm still a little activated. So do you have any advice on like how to clear that and how to move past that in the future as well when I'm doing this exercise? Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for letting us know. There's a couple of pieces here. So first of all, for completion, the 2 things I would go to is the water or the earth and give it to the elements. One of the most powerful things we can do is give it to the elements. What you'll notice as soon as you put your feet in a body of water or jump into the water, the ocean, the sea, or even a shower or a bath, is it will actually help you to move through, because the water element will help any emotions move through. The earth would require standing on the earth. You can perhaps do the breathing pattern and just allow yourself to feel the earth taking it. Yeah, the earth can actually assist. I love doing these rituals on the earth itself because you can actually feel the earth almost like alchemizing it with us. The key element here is not perhaps if you can watch the recording of this, you can do it again if you feel you need to. But a key element here is regulating your nervous system and building a relationship with it's safe to feel my anger. We start really slow and intentionally because all of us are used to those outbreaks, or some of us are, either receiving the outbreaks or perpetuating them ourselves, right? But when we learn to actually build a relationship with it, it's like intimacy with our emotion. It's like, there it is. There's the layers. So yeah, does that support?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Amazing.
Hannah.
Yeah, I just wanted to express my gratitude. I've been feeling so much anger towards the start of the week, and this has come at such a beautiful time for me. And I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm actually beginning to feel anger and really like believe in my anger and like almost like this healthy rage, this like justified rage. So just being here with the both of you tonight and just like tapping into that more and feeling that and how I'm able to go there and shouting, you know, fuck you, and like no, like even shouting no. I don't think I've ever shouted that out loud before, and it was so powerful. And when I was shouting no, I really felt that reclamation of sovereignty. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. That was really powerful and beautiful. So yeah, thank you guys.
Hannah, so good to see you, babe. And thank you just for sharing that piece. The power in the reclamation of the no. I feel that you are going to receive so much energy back because you're saying that out on so many dimensions of time and space. So I pray that all of you today receive your energy and your sovereignty back to you on all dimensions, and that for the rest of this year you feel energized and clear, and you can keep coming back to this. But thank you for just bringing that piece of, for the first time, actually saying no, and what that ripples out. Goosebumps, full power. Thank you.
I'd like to just share something on that.
Yeah.
For those, anyone else on here that resonates with being a sacred activist, you know, or allowing their healthy anger or healthy aggression even to lead them, to pull them. It's like a passionate anger, and it is an anger, and it's not the anger of fighting. It's the anger of, I will hold the line for love and truth. I don't care what it takes. I am standing right here, and this is what I believe in. I'm a protector for this earth. How we do that with integrity is we process all of the unclean anger, all the stuff from our past. If we want to be able to hold that embodiment with full conviction and be unwavering, what's required first is to feel everything that is the shadow. Otherwise, we'll create the same suffering that's already been happening. But if we clean up our unhealthy anger and it turns into this healthy aggression, it's like it pulls you forward. It's like, I don't care what this takes. I don't care how many nights of sleep do I have to lose. I'm here to protect the children. I'm here to reclaim the innocence of the earth. I'm here to, what it's like, it doesn't matter for the sacred activists, for them to be truly sincere and for them to activate in a really healthy way and for to be that rainbow light warrior. Healthy rage releasing in these containers where it's safe, where everyone's consenting, everyone's fully open to it, and you can actually complete it in a wholesome way. And then you go out into the world and you'll notice you're not going to have as many outbursts to anybody. But then when those powers that be, you're standing there and you're squaring off with them, you'll be like, I've met my darkness. I'm here. Yeah, so.
Thank you, Zachary, as well, for sharing. And just the last piece I'll say is, if there is anything else still lingering, something for me that I now acknowledge with the rage processing is there's a lot of passion that ignites from doing this process. There's a passion, right? And acknowledge that passion and channel it into art. Get the paint on the canvas and use it for passion. Splash it, get it on there. Get the words out. Some of Mackenzie's spoken word stuff is coming through, her passion igniting for Maui and the experience in Hawaii, right? You create art with that passion that moves people. Yeah, that's all. Anything else?
Mic dropped.
Beautiful. Perfect. I can relate so much. Several weeks ago, I felt I had more anger come through me, and I gave myself full permission finally to feel it. And it was about a week where I was like, this is so intense. It was actually really uncomfortable because I had never allowed myself to go there. And it was the actual integration of my shadow that I hadn't done for many years. And I didn't know that. And when I integrated that shadow, and I became the warrior. I became the warrior that I've always known I am, but actually embodied it and actually integrated it. And so many of your words that you're saying are ringing, really resonant. And I will say, what has emerged since then, creatively, physically, from health wise, like every level of my life has just upgraded psychically since I allowed myself to go there. So, all right. I know we're past time, but just wanted to reflect that. Thank you, beloveds. Let's just close down our eyes and take one deep breath together. Maybe we'll finish with that yum that Abergale led us into. Big inhale. Yum. Just closing out this space with gratitude and a smile on our faces. How grateful we are for this medicine of cacao, for this soul family, for this opportunity to heal within and to be provided for along the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May the blessings we receive in this space be received out by every family, every community, every piece of land on this earth. And we just close up this space with protection. May we be guided throughout the rest of our days by our lights, by our integrity, by Gaia, and by our truth, and by love. Aho, aloha, ashe. And so it is. See you all soon. Mwah. Bye.